We are a people of signs, wonders, and miracles. We are a people of signs, wonders, and miracles. You know, you heard in the testimony the other day about Corinne coming in the church, and I don't know what it was, but tears filled my eyes. You heard the story of another one of the testimonies. Well, I know Paul had told us before, he said, I can't explain it, but when I walked into the door, I knew that I had felt something I had looked for all of my life. We can't manufacture that. We can't have a nice enough building to create that. We can't say good enough words or enticing enough words. We have got to have the supernatural factor. Now let's look at in our notes. In praying kingdom prayers, we often see ourselves as convincing God to do something for us. I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. I think I've established the fact we've got to be a supernatural people. Now we're going to talk a little bit, because I want to end with, we're going to pray over Singapore and the maps of Singapore, and we're going to get great reports in the future from this very prayer we pray tonight. I can tell you for sure. In praying kingdom prayers, we often see ourselves as convincing God to do something for us. But really, his mission is not our idea. Have you ever felt yourself doing that? It's like, oh God, would you please deliver them? Wait a minute. No, he had the idea for us to go and deliver this girl today. No, that wasn't your idea. No, that was God's idea, and he needs somebody to do it through. Reminds me of in Pride and Prejudice when one of the love interests, this man finally asked her to marry him, and she says, yes, 1,000 times yes. It's like I've been waiting forever. It's almost like sometimes, and I want us to imagine Jesus Christ tonight as we pray, when we begin to pray the prayers that really he loves so much, I want us to imagine him saying, finally, yes, 1,000 times yes. I've been waiting for somebody to pray that prayer. That's my prayer. We've got to get a mind shift where we actually see through the mind of Christ that it was his idea from the foundation of the earth to do what you're doing. That's God's idea. All right, so it's not our mission, it's his. So when we involve ourselves in kingdom work, we're actually getting on his team. He's leading the team. We're fulfilling his dream, not our dream. All this work, the calling that God put on the Willoughby's heart to leave a country and leave everything known and leave the success they knew to come to something that they had no idea. That was God saying, I need someone, and they came and fulfilled it. And let me tell you, God's not through, but it wasn't their idea. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't eat. God just had to do something. That was God saying, look, I've got to have you go because I've got to go there, and you're the ones I've picked to go through. It's a God thing. So, therefore, focused prayers that echo God's heart allow him to fulfill what he's already wanting to do. God's mission is not a religious sales program. Say, we're not a sales program. We're not a corporation project. Say, we're not a corporation project. We're not just doing something nice with our lives. We are reaching lost people, and it's God's heart and soul flowing in and flowing out of us. And let me tell you, when he does his work, it's got to be supernatural. We can't convince people enough. We can't say it good enough. There has got to be some kind of God factor that goes inside of them. When you speak those words, it may sound like something just simple, but when God goes inside that heart, he twists that heart upside down, Dwayne, and then all of a sudden they see it, they understand it, or that night they had a dream, or something just happened when they came here on Sunday, and something just made them want to know, what about that supernatural God? Let's look in John 21, 3 through 11, and this is just so cool. This is just kind of the center, and I'm kind of coming to a close here about what we want to talk about. John 21, 3 through 11. Let's see if we can read together. All right. Well, that's okay. I think you know the story. It's about where Jesus told them to cast their net on the right side of the boat and said, you're going to find some fish. They'd fished all night and didn't find any fish. And Peter had said, let's go fishing. And they said, we'll go with you. And they were supposed to be doing something else, but they, were discouraged. And Peter, did the thing he knew to do, and he kind of shifted to his comfort zone, and he goes fishing. They follow him fishing. They're fishing all night. And Jesus, they didn't know at the time it was him, but he called out and said, have you caught any fish? They said no. And he said, well, if you'll cast on the right side of the boat, you will find some. First of all, we have got to have divine perception, supernatural perception. We've got to learn to hear the voice of God in our heart, in our own way. But we must have, there's got to be a divine perception that we have where we know this is what God needs me to do. This is what he wants me to do. This is who he wants me to talk to, and this is what I need to say to them. If we don't have that, we are dead in the water. We have got to have supernatural perception. You need to know when God is calling you, God is speaking to you, God is drawing you. It might not be an audible voice. Some people see angels. I've never seen an angel. Some people hear audible voices. I really haven't heard an audible voice, but I tell you, I can feel that strong tug, and I can know when God is speaking to me, and we've got to have that supernatural perception. So they cast out on the right side of the boat, and sure enough, they pulled in so much fish that they couldn't pull it all in, and they had to call to their partners. Well, Peter recognized it was Jesus because he knew the sign, the wonder, and the miracle. He knew the miracle. Couldn't have been something they did. They had tried in that same place. But then Jesus said, do it. They did it, and then they pulled in the fish. So we have got to have that divine perception to understand that when Jesus says it, let's go do it, even if you've already tried it. No matter how discouraged you are, no matter how many people you prayed for that haven't been healed, go pray again because he is wanting to do something great. All right, so Peter bails out and swims to shore, and, he's all, and I know, because we've all done it. He'd gotten sidetracked, and he had, discouraged and didn't know what was going to happen with their ministry and didn't understand a lot that was going on, so he was out fishing because he enjoyed fishing, and it made him feel successful, and all the disciples had followed him, and he knew that they were all supposed to be out doing the mission of Christ, but they weren't. They were out fishing, and so he's guilty, and he's feeling bad, so he swims to shore. He's trying to kind of make up for it. And so when he gets to the shore, and I just love this, in verse 9 it says, then as soon as they had come to land, they saw fires of coal there and fish laid on it and bread. Do you think Jesus was out pulling nets for fish? No. Jesus brings supernatural provision. Now here they are trying to catch fish all night, can't catch any. Then Jesus says, in the right side of the boat, they pull in bunches of fish, and then Jesus has got fish on the fire. We have got to have supernatural provision. The dream God has for this place, there is not enough money that you have right now. Jesus is going to have to provide supernaturally because the vision is greater than you can fund. And I am believing that God is going to do it because it is his dream that you're fulfilling.